Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 9 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great weekend, safe weekend. Let's get ready for a great week, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Learn to ask questions. It's always better to ask questions than make an assumption. Have the courage to ask questions until you're as clear as you can be. Once you hear the answer to a question, you won't have to make the assumption. Because why? Because you'll know the truth. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow down 52, NASDAQ off 32, S&P's off 10, gold contract down $12.70, trading at $1,727 an ounce. Silver off 33 cents at $33.35 an ounce. Platinum up $2 at $1,593 an ounce. Copper up 3 pennies at $3.65 a pound. Light sweet crude flat at $96.30 a barrel. Bonds flat at $149.10. King dollar up 15 ticks at 80.39. King dollar's going to have to build some cars, folks, after the last Friday. But bottom line, you get 15 ticks today. Euro down 58 ticks, trading out at 127.59, and the yen is flat at 78.26. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do you have? You are at 1429.51. You back down today. We did 600 million on the back down. Bottom line is it has to get back inside the 1422 area to be back inside the lower, well, wouldn't be the lower range, but it would be the range that would be a false break topside. What you do have, folks, okay, so if I do the SPY first, you can see what you're doing here. On the weekly basis, this is what we've done. We have gone into the swing point from the May 2008 level. Now, we did that, folks, with 50% lighter volume. Pretty amazing, okay? But bottom line, you know, that number there was the 144.30. On the SPY, you know, right now, you're at 143.51. So you got over it, you closed under it. Bottom line is that half the amount of volume. You know, we'll see whether it can get back inside the other range. But that in itself, okay, no juice. Now that was in the S&P, in the Dow Industrials, in the small caps. Let's go to the Dow next. We take a look at the Dow. So you have inside the Dow Industrials, she pulls back slightly. The high in the Dow is at 13,338. We had got on Friday 13,320. Today 13,324. Backs down. That's still inside the range, meaning the large consolidation that's been. The bottom of that consolidation is the 12,000. NASDAQ Composite. Now, the composite has been over this number for quite a while. Okay, when you take a look at the composite, and the composite, by the way, was over it by 66% lighter volume. But the NASDAQ Composite has been over this baby. It's over it by 300 points, and it's been over it for quite a while. What the NASDAQ just did out here today is that she had got to the 33.89 level, where the 34.17 is that level that was back in March of 2012. Now, NASDAQ pulls back. We did 1.6 billion inside the NASDAQ Composite. Now, the composite itself, folks, okay, all you have to do, someone was taking a huge bite out of Apple. What you had happen, you know, pretty early in the session. Yeah, in fact, it was when Steve and I were on this morning. They start selling Apple. Bottom line, Apple pulls back $17, 17 million shares. Now, that's after making the first high out here with 15 million shares, the second high on Friday with 11 million. That is a seller, and that's a seller. If I bring this up, I'll show you some of these trades out here. You know, the average trade this morning was about 2.5 million. They were pushing out about 4,000 to 4,200 per trade. That accelerated going out in the day. You know, it's hit 5,000, then they start pushing. When I'm talking about these are one-off trades just going right at the market. 8,500, 8,800, 8,900, 9,000. So the bottom line is that they pushed some numbers off. The final trade out there pushed some big numbers off. It's 144,000. NDX 100. So if we look at the three Qs, because of course the NASDAQ comes back, it affects the three Qs dramatically. It affects the composite dramatically. The three Qs right now are back inside 65.54. Well, guess what? It's this. I mean, 68.54. It's a 68.88. That's where it broke out from. The three Qs also did not have the juice. But bottom line, broke out. Now you're back right inside. Inside the NDX 100 today, what we also had, Intel. You know, we were talking about Intel. Intel was an ABC structure on the way down. And that had broken the B point, by the way, on the 29th of August. Broke the B point, broke it with volume. You get a counter-trend bounce, goes back up, and then just got taken apart. And really got taken apart today. This is pretty... We did 80 million shares, folks, in Intel. So let me just bring this back a little to see what we're looking at. So you get an ABC down. Now you get a huge expansion of volume simultaneously. And bottom line is that you're at 23, and Intel's going to be making its way down to this 21 area. We take a look at the dollar index. Okay, so the dollar out here. This is what we did with the dollar. Dollar today, 15 ticks, no big deal. The dollar's going to have to basically get some real juice underneath it. You know, after a day like Friday, we went from 81.14 to the 80.14, 140 level. That's a full point. Full point is a big number. Gold contract. Now, what we had out here with gold today is this. Okay, let's take a look at the contract first. So the contract doesn't look that bad. The contract down 12 bucks. That's not the end of the world. What is, though, okay, some of the equities. Okay, if we look at the XAU first, this is what you have. Now picture something, folks. The XAU, the HUI, and many of the gold equities themselves, okay, what they had is this. They had the daily volume. They set up really nice. They did not have the weekly volume, and they were shot. The gold contract itself and the GLD was shot by 60%, okay, coming into the swing points on the weekly, okay. Bottom line, you can see they start selling them off today. So we'll see if there's going to be a follow through inside the gold equities themselves. But I can tell you, it's always dangerous when you have divergence inside the sector, and there's quite a bit of divergence inside that sector right now. Let's go over to the bond market. We take a look at bonds. What we have with, let's see, U.S. What we have with bonds right now is this. Bonds are flat out here today, 149.12. Bonds are still in the higher range. That's how that's set up, okay? The bonds want to go after the 154.17 mark. Now, what you had during the day here out here, folks, is that you had Europe that was flat. Asia was flat last night. We started getting some selling in the marketplace. First it started with Apple, then you started with Intel, then we started with SWKS, which is an Apple play. But I suspect where it really started coming from was Spain. And what I mean by that is this, is that Rojo was out there today, and, you know, it's not in the top news, but it just kept coming across the tape. And what was coming across the tape flat out, now you get a picture. He's the guy that's running Spain. Draghi is saying that, hey, listen, he was buying bonds so that Spain could bring the rate down. Well, guess what? Rojo is out here today saying, hey, no one asked me to do anything. Okay, there's nothing wrong here. That's exaggerating. He didn't say there's nothing wrong. What he's saying specifically, though, is that the European Union weren't asking him to come back to ask for anything. He was saying that flat out that the shackles that they were putting on Spain were way too much. And the bottom line is that he thought that Spain was going to grow less more than most folks thought. So the bottom line is that I think the market starts seeing that, you get Spain and their prime minister saying, hey, everything's cool. And they're saying, I can't believe that this after the fact, that the European Central Bank has already said to all of us that they will not do anything until someone asks for help. And of course, you have the other side that needs help saying that no one's talking to me. We're going to be right back.